From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Thursday, March the 8th, 2018. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is wrapping up a 5-day visit to the United States. Today, the Prime Minister met with U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley, in New York City. He thanked her for her defense of Israel at the UN, calling the efforts to change the way Israel is treated by the international body a tsunami of fresh air.
And I wanted to tell you how much we appreciate the defense of Israel and the truth that the President and you bring into these cloistered halls that are so damp, you know, with anti-Israel venom. And it's not a breath of fresh air, it's just like a tsunami of fresh air.
Last night, Netanyahu paid tribute to the outgoing chairman of the Jewish agency, Natan Sharansky, at the Cipriani Banquet Hall in Lower Manhattan, celebrating the former Soviet prisoner's courageous and inspiring life story and achievements.
On many occasions, Natan described how, when he was in a Soviet prison, he would hear a plane pass overhead, and he would think of my brother Yoni, of the rescue at Entebbe, of what Israel was prepared to do to save Jews everywhere. I think you said, Natan, that you knew you were not alone because there was a Jewish state and a Jewish army, a Jewish government. I have to say, Natan, that your courage, Yoni's courage, inspired you, and your courage inspired me.
Sharansky told the Jerusalem Post that the evening was really about the Jewish agency's mission. He said the main idea is to make sure that there will be more and more shlichim, referring to emissaries, bringing Israel closer to the Jewish people and the Jewish people closer to Israel. Among the dignitaries in attendance last night, former U.S. President George W. Bush. Sharansky is scheduled to step down as head of the Jewish agency in June. A replacement has yet to be named. Poland's President Andrzej Duda apologized today for the expulsion of thousands of Jews 50 years ago during a communist-era anti-Semitic campaign. In March of 1968, 13,000 Jews, among them Holocaust survivors, were driven out of the country following mass student protests, which were then used as an excuse to drive the Jews out. Duda said today, the free and independent Poland of today, my generation, is not responsible and does not need to apologize. But to those who were driven out then, I'd like to say, please forgive the Republic, Poles, the Poland of that time, for having carried out such a shameful act. Duda's apology comes, of course, in the shadow of Poland's passage of the controversial Holocaust bill, which criminalizes blaming Poland for any atrocities committed during the Holocaust. French President Emmanuel Macron said last night that he would fight firmly against anti-Semitism wherever it surfaces. In an address to France's leading Jewish group, the umbrella organization CRIF, Macron said, "We have understood with horror that anti-Semitism is still alive, and on this issue, our response must be unforgiving." He said France would not be itself if Jewish citizens had to leave because they were afraid. The French leader said protections for Jewish schools and synagogues would continue, and also noted a new government plan to fight racism and anti-Semitism online. Israel took home 3 medals in the Youth Abu Dhabi Jiu-Jitsu World Championship, which concluded Friday in the United Arab Emirates. Meshi Rosenfeld and Nimrod Ryder each won gold medals in the under-21 category, and 16-year-old Sarah Kovalyov, who is deaf, won a silver in the under-18 competition. While the Israeli anthem was not played and the Israeli flag not flown during the awards ceremony, the Israeli delegation noted warm and supportive attitudes from the competition's organizers. Chairman of the Israel Jiu-Jitsu Federation, Erez Alroy, said hosts went out of their way during the competition for the Israeli team. Well, Operation Juniper Cobra is underway in Israel this week. Thousands of American and Israeli soldiers training side by side for the next few weeks to simulate and prepare for the event of a massive ballistic missile attack on Israel. IDF Brigadier General Tzvika Chayamovich, who is Israel's air defense commander, told reporters today that the large-scale joint drill was more than just an exercise. He said, "As I walk around our camp, I see Israeli and American forces sitting side by side in our operations center, operating equipment, eating together in the dining facility." He said it's a great opportunity for us to build that glue that will make interoperability work. And taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Thursday, March the 8th at 7 o'clock, Rabbi Stephen Greenberg of Klal's Diversity Project talks about the commandment to be inclusive and its challenges, including on issues of homosexuality. That's from the Ferguson Library in Stamford, Connecticut. At 8 o'clock, Dr. Ruth Westheimer, Professor Adina Grossman, and author Robert Beach review the German Jewish contribution to understanding human sexuality. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with author Elizabeth Bettina on L'chaim, and at 10, author Tova Mervis talks about her memoir, The Book of Separation, which tells of her divorce and her decision to leave the Orthodox community. That's with Tablet Magazine's Marjorie Engel from the Center for Jewish History in New York City. And coming up right after this newscast tonight at 6:30, Mark Golub speaks with the Washington Bureau Chief of the JTA, Ron Campius, who reviews the 2018 AIPAC National Policy Conference with the participation of Mike Pence, Nikki Haley, and members of Congress. He also talks about bipartisanship and comments on Prime Minister Netanyahu's attitude towards the two-state solution. And that's the JBS News Update for Thursday, March the 8th, 2018. I'm Teisha Bader.